Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning viewer or subscriber, today's video is going to be a bit of a book unhaul. If you've been here before, you would know that whenever I just finish a book that I'm not that into, I put it on my unhaul pile. I only keep books that I rate kind of like 3.5 or higher, even like 4 or higher honestly at this point, because I just don't want to be having 10 million books on my bookshelves by the time I'm old. That is how many would exist if I kept everything that I read. So I think for now, at this current stage of my life, I'm very content only keeping the books that I truly love. So I've got a big stack of books to talk to you about here, some of which I'm gonna put up on the screen because I've already managed to get rid of them, whether that's donating it to the charity shop or passing it on to a friend or selling. That's the other thing. If you ever want to buy one of my books, they're always up on my Depop. I ship within the UK, but if you are based internationally, then maybe we could work something out as well. I'll have the page linked down below and everything. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first book that I have unhauled, and I've already got rid of it, it was Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I read Prisoners Creek in the summertime by Daphne du Maurier as well, and I love that book. This is not any hate towards Rebecca. It's just a book that I studied when I was about 13. And my only memory of it is honestly through watching the film adaptations. So I definitely want to reread this book at some point in my life, but the copy I owned was the one that I studied, and it was horrible. It was all like torn and battered, and the spine was incredibly cracked. And I've also recently started collecting du Maurier's books in the Burago Modern Classics, like the new editions with like the green stripe down the spine. I'll put like the actual cover of Rebecca on the screen somewhere, what I want to get. I felt no regrets getting rid of that. I have a lot of very beaten up like school books that I studied that I feel a little bit of a sentimental attachment to, that I feel like I can't get rid of them. But with this one, it wasn't marked up or anything like that, and it was just in terrible condition, so I decided to pass that one. I think I actually gave that to the charity shop. I don't know who's going to want that, but it's better than throwing it in the bin. Next up we have a book that you might have actually seen me put on various TBRs before. It's one that I never got around to though. I just don't think I'm going to ever get around to it. And I also think that this book would be so much better in the hands of someone who actually wanted to own it. And that is The Devouring by Kristen and Herman. This is not just any copy of Devouring Grey. First of all, it has incredible like electric pink sprayed edges. The book is also signed, which is pretty cool. Some fan of the book, I'm sure, would much prefer this than me, who's just gonna let it sit on my shelves forever and maybe pick it up like 10 years down the line. I'm not really sure what this is about. It's meant to be like a Stranger Things inspired. Yeah, fans of the Raven Boys and Stranger Things, rejoice, this is your new obsession. It's about 4 teenagers in rural New York, and there's this like weird supernatural stuff going on. That sounds very Stranger Things to me. I don't actually love Stranger Things. I mean, I've got past like the first couple of episodes, so I feel like this is silly me owning this, and I 100% like pretty much already picked it up because I saw that it was signed, and I also saw that it was a book that I vaguely, you know, I'd seen people I feel like read it. This is not my kind of thing, and I think someone else, like I said, would be much happier owning it than I currently am. Okay, then we made the brave decision to unhaul my entire Shatter series. I know this is gonna hurt the people who love this series. Let me tell you about my experience reading this series. Read the first book in like 2019, loved it, gave it 5 stars. Read the second book a couple of years later, and I gave it 3.5. Kind of fun. I like the introduction of Warner. I also have flipped through videos of my annotations in these if anyone's curious. I'll have them all linked down below. Yeah, this was 3.5. It didn't have the same kind of spark as Shatter Me, but I didn't dislike it. And then we read Ignite Me. This is possibly one of the worst books I've ever read in terms of like the quality of the writing, the plot structure. Oh my goodness. Also know that this is like a lot of people's like favorite series, and a favorite book in the series is Ignite Me. So I'm not gonna hate on it basically any further. If you want to hear my thoughts on this, I will have the video linked down below when I wrap up my thoughts and feelings on Ignite Me, the book, the month that I read it. It's just not for me basically, and I think that I probably read the first book right at the point where the YA genre had me around its little finger. So basically what I've done is I've unhauled Unravel Me, Ignite Me, and also Defy Me. I think I gave Defy Me to the charity shop. These two I'm not sure what to do with because these are both annotated. I'm not sure whether the charity shop would like that, but either way, these are not going to be existing on my shelves anymore. For the time being, I am keeping Shatter Me just because I really enjoyed it, and I loved the kind of like breath of fresh air it provided within the genre. It was such like a new, exciting dystopian book for me. I did thoroughly enjoy it when I read it. I probably will unhaul it eventually down the line, just when I've lost some of my fun memories, when they're not like as fresh in my mind. But for now, that one's staying, and these two plus Defy Me have left my shelves. I never got on to the rest of the series because once I read Ignite Me, I was like, this is no longer happening. I unhauled a book called The After Party by Anton Disclafani. I think that was the author. This book I picked up in the charity shop thinking it was a different book. When I got home and I looked it up on Goodreads, I realized that it had terrible reviews. And actually, I think at the time I bought it, it was the lowest rated book in terms of like Goodreads average ratings on my bookshelves. I kind of toyed with the idea of filming a video where I read the highest rated book and the lowest rated book that I owned in terms of Goodreads ratings, but I never did that. You know, I just don't have any motivation. I'm still kind of interested with the idea of that video, but reading a book that was low rated that I'm still interested in getting to, because this one I just had no interest initially. Like, I only picked it up because I thought it was a different title, you know. Two women during the 1950s, I think it is. It could be really good, I don't know, but for now it has gone to the charity shop, and it's really funny actually because I walked in there the other day and I saw it sitting on the shelves and I was like, if I ever feel like it, I could always purchase it from the charity shop. So I don't think anybody else is going to be snapping it up anytime soon. I unhauled my copy of Confess by Colleen Hoover. This is my first and last coho book that I've ever purchased, that I've ever read, anything like that. I just thought it was terrible, basically. I know that's not a hot take. Yeah, I just thought it was a bad book. It wasn't like offensive, but it was just like, it was not good, you know. That was about an artist, can't remember his name, and this girl who moves into town. The art he creates is based on people's confessions, and she's got this whole secret past to herself that you unfold. They both come from like very traumatic backgrounds. If you read coho, you know, like ridiculously over the top traumatic backgrounds. I don't know, it was a wild ride. I think I gave it like two stars, and or maybe 1.5 even. I think it was 1.5. Yeah, not offensive, like I said, just like not a book that I need to be having on my shelves, not a book I will ever feel the need to revisit. I might change throughout my life, but I feel like I can be pretty sure of that fact. Okay, another book to make the girlies sad, make the girlies cry. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I'm gonna say very few words on this book because I read it this month, or finished it this month, and I have many thoughts on it that I want to properly discuss during my wrap up for March. So you will be hearing about this one very soon, this time next week, so Wednesday's video next week. So in Powerless we're following Payden. It's meant to be an enemies to lovers thing with this guy called Kai, and Payden like lives in the slums of the city, and she's brought into the castle. Kai is the son of the king. She has to compete in order to, what are they even winning? Oh, it's like a Hunger Games thing. It's like a way of like settling the disputes within the land over the fact that the king ruled out people who couldn't use magic or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, thought it sounded really fun. I absolutely love the cover. I think the cover is beautiful. It just sounds like the perfect like new adult fantasy book. To keep it very brief, I feel like the main problem with this is that it's very clearly a debut. Obviously, you know, authors have to start somewhere, so it's totally fair enough to be writing, you know, not your best work as your first novel. This one I feel like was just really not good. I feel like this author could do something great in the future, but this book at least, I just felt like it didn't have any kind of like strong direction. It was very highly influenced by other authors within the genre, other past authors, other people who are like still writing even. I'm genuinely baffled about the fact that I'm one of the very few people. I mean, I'm in like the like 0.0001% of people who didn't like this book, found these issues with it, which I just don't understand, but either way, it's not for me. And like I said, people love this, so someone else would be very much happier to have this in a position than I would be. It's up on Depop if anyone wants it. Okay, you've seen me mention this one before because I have previously unhauled it on here, but Mother by MacManus. This is a book that I bought to read with my friend Anna. Our book club here on YouTube, we used to have live streams. That was just so much fun, that whole era of life, but it was also something that we just couldn't keep up. You know, we both had different responsibilities and priorities and stuff. It came to a close, sadly. But one of the books we read for that was Mother. This was actually my pick. At the time when I ordered this, Blackwell, so I bought it from, accidentally sent me 2 copies. I was always wanting to get rid of one of them, and actually I think that's the one I'm holding up right now because the copy that I read, I annotated. I think I came out with like a 3.5 rating, which honestly, like, I could have kept the book based on that. But I basically have no memory of this story, and I also don't like having contemporary books in hardcover. I much prefer them in paperback. I feel like if I ever felt drawn to this story again, I could either, you know, audiobook it, read it from the library, or purchase the paperback of it. But I don't think I need this hardcover. It's also gorgeous. Again, someone else would probably prefer to have it. I think I actually gave my annotated copy to the charity shop. But yeah, we've got a unread, unmarked copy that's on my Depop currently, if anyone's interested in this as well. I'm really hot. I'm absolutely boiling. Okay, I'm just gonna do like some little off the shoulder moment because I'm absolutely boiling. The penultimate book is a very similar situation to Mother, although I haven't read this one. This is one that's actually unread. So as you will know, a couple of weeks ago I did a big bookshelf reorganisation. I didn't have much room at all on my shelf for hardcover books that I haven't read yet. We're going to be fixing that problem obviously by reading them, but as I was kind of having that crisis of where things were going to go, I discovered that this book is actually on Spotify. It's included in their premium you know, 15 hours of free audiobooks per month thing. I would so much more prefer to read this style of story through audiobook. The other thing is it's another contemporary book, so I definitely also want to own this in paperback. If I enjoyed it, I could then purchase the paperback. And the other thing is that this is such an important story. It's such an interesting book. So first of all, it has a very kind of like confusing plot in terms of like me being able to explain it to you, but I'll just read this description because I feel like I wouldn't be able to kind of like summarize it in few words without confusing you. Reese nearly had it all: a loving relationship with Amy, an apartment in New York, a job she didn't hate. She'd scraped together a life previous generations of trans women could only dream of. The only thing missing was a child. Then everything fell apart, and 3 years on, Reese is still in self-destruct mode, avoiding her loneliness by sleeping with married men. When her ex calls to ask if she would like to be a mother, Reese finds herself intrigued. After being attacked in the streets, Amy detransitioned to become Ames, changed jobs, and thinking he was infertile, started an affair with his boss, Katrina. Now Katrina's pregnant. Could the 3 of them form an unconventional family and raise the baby together? 2 trans women are in a relationship. They break up after things just don't work out for them. One of them detransitions. Their new partner gets pregnant, but the person they were originally dating, a trans woman, has always wanted to have kids, so they become this kind of like unconventional I guess like 21st century family. The reason why this is really interesting is, first of all, you know, fascinating plot, something that's I've never seen like anything even like remotely similar before. But the other thing is that this book was longlisted, as you can see here in the corner, for the Women's Prize for Fiction in 2021. Torrey Peters, who wrote this, is a trans woman, and there was this massive argument about whether, you know, like a trans woman was allowed to be nominated for a woman's prize. That whole, you know, there was a big what's the word I'm looking for? Not discussion, like discourse surrounding this book. There's so much you can go into that, but the point is this book became such like a historical moment within fiction, particularly within women's fiction, and also trans fiction, of course. So the reason why I'm getting rid of it is because A, I want to read the audiobook. B, I would like to own the paperback if I was ever going to own a physical copy of this book. C, this book would be so much better in the hands of someone who either A, really loved it, or B, really wanted to read it, who either related to the author or the characters in the novel, or was interested in the whole discourse surrounding this novel. So that is Detransition Baby. It is a really lovely cover. I really like this edition. Very much happier to have the paperback, but I do definitely want to still get to this. I shall be reading the audiobook hopefully across the next couple of months. And then finally, the last book we have to mention here is Name of the Ashes by Sabaah Tahir. This is a book that I read really recently. I read it in January and I enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars. 3.5 stars. I feel like sometimes when I give that rating, I kind of rather that I disliked the book than that I'd given it that rating, because that means like, yes, I really enjoyed it, but it just wasn't like anything special. It's not a book that I'm like wanting to shout from the rooftops about. The series might get better, but I just don't really have any great interest in going further with it. I also read this book primarily on audiobook, so if I was going to continue the series, then I would just do the same with the other books in it. You know how people have soft DNFs? This is a soft unhaul because this has gone to a friend just because they were interested in it. I feel like if they read it and they don't like it, then they'll hand it back to me and then I'll have to decide what to do with it. But if they enjoy it, then I'm very happy for them to just keep it, because it's not, you know, I just like, I liked it. I had a good experience. I would recommend it to people, but it's not something that I adored. And like I said earlier in the video, those are the books that I want to be keeping on my shelves. So there you have it. That is my big unhaul video. I kind of collect these books together, and whenever I reach a number that's kind of significant enough, I want to share them with you. I think it's really interesting seeing what people keep, what people get rid of. You can kind of use this book as a recommendation video, because if something didn't work for me as well, it might really work for you. I don't know, I just feel like you hear different opinions through watching these videos. It's like helpful but also really entertaining. For some reason, people like either bringing books in or getting rid of books is like a thrill to me. That's just a genuinely the stupidest thing I've ever said. But yeah. If you're a book girly, you relate, I feel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know you did. Sorry for missing my past couple of uploads. I was unwell last Wednesday, and then my Saturday upload I just never got around to. I was very, very busy at the end of the week, and I had very few ideas for videos, but I've got some really fun ones coming up. We've got my TBR for April. We've got my wrap up for March. I've got some vlogs coming. I'm actually currently filming a vlog this week. The whole thing will be en route to you very, very soon. Sending my love to you from here to wherever you may be in the world. I'll see you on Saturday for another video, but until then, love you the rest of your day. Love you the rest of your week. Yeah, bye bye.